Alexandre O, Philippe is with me this morning. He's the director of Dawn of the Dead. So this is a documentary about the world and the progression and the popularity of zombies. And you know, last night I'm at home on the iPad, there's my son playing a video game with zombies. I turn on the TV screen, you know, zombies are on our TV screens with the popularity of many of the shows that are out there. You know, World War Z is a movie that comes to mind. How did this all come about?
Well, you're just going to have to watch Dawn of the Dead, right? So, well, I mean, you know, it's actually a very complicated and sort of fragmented answer. You know, you have to look really at some of the events that have happened, you know, starting with 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina. And there's a lot of, I mean, we live in a very sort of dark, uncertain world. And, you know, when this happens, of course, you know, horror tends to rise. But I think zombies, you know, for me, sort of my pet theory is that it's kind of a dress rehearsal for, you know, this one thing we're going to be one day, which is dead. You know, and
that's
so
what
it's
you say in the documentary. I forget who said that quote. That is, you can't run away from being dead. So eventually you're going to die.
Yeah, so it's kind of a way to exercise the fear. I think that's why, you know, so many people now are you know, doing zombie walks and zombie runs. You know, we're trying to domesticate that fear of death.
And there's no true definition to zombie. You know, through the documentary, I see some zombies are funny, some will eat brains, other will eat blood. They kind of progress.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty about it, is that I think that, you know, of course you have the, you know, what we call now the modern zombie, which George Romero, you know, created. But there are a lot of different definitions, you know. Zombie purists will not agree with me. But, you know, I tend to be the, you know, the kind of guy who will, you know, look at a movie like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and say, well, that's kind of a zombie movie. You know, it's a different sort of narrative of, you know, these people are not individuals anymore. And they're trying to assimilate you into their collective. And it's kind of what, you know, a certain type of zombie narrative is about.
Yeah, and we don't always hate zombies in some of these films.
No, for sure. I mean, I think, you know, there's some very, very sympathetic zombies. In fact, there's a great Canadian film called, you know, Phyto, which is actually one of my all-time favorite zombie films. And it's a very nice zombie. You
were telling me the zombie walk here at Yonge Dundas Square was the first in the world?
Yes, yes. It all started right here in Toronto. This is ground zero. Thea Munster actually can be credited for creating the first zombie walk in the world. And I think now there's about 10,000 people here. But you know, where I live in Denver, we actually have the world record now. 17,
so there's competition?
17,000. Oh yes, yes. Cities around the world compete to have the largest zombie walk. Absolutely.
So Saturday at 9:45 is when your movie will be playing, and I guess your hope is that you'll have a lot of zombies hanging around.
Well, usually you know, they're always around. Wherever my movie's playing, you can bet there's going to be zombies. Yeah.
Where's your fascination about this? How did this all come about?
You know, when I was a little kid, you know, I love horror. In fact, my very first horror film was Scanners, but my first zombie film was Night of the Living Dead, and I think it was about 6 or 7 years old, and you know, it sort of really blew my mind. I mean, it terrified me at the time, and you know, I was just really hooked on that. So I've been keeping tabs, I guess, on zombies.
So will the zombies ever truly die? The popularity?
You know, zombie experts have been asking that question now for several years. You know, 5, 6 years ago, they were thinking, okay, that's it. We've reached you know, the crest of the wave. You know, the bubble's going to pop, and yet it keeps happening and keeps happening. So I think as long as people are inventive with the genre and try new things, I mean, it's going to keep going. You know, right now we're seeing a movie called Zombievers that's coming out. Elijah Wood has a movie called Cooties. Arnold Schwarzenegger is working on a zombie film.
Oh, if Arnie's doing it, it's going to be here forever.
Yeah, I mean, the genre is alive and well. Yes.
So it's called Dawn of the Dead. It's playing at the Royal Cinema on Saturday, 9:45. It's a part of Hot Docs. For more information, go to breakfasttelevision.ca. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.